Is being strong and fitness the same thing? Is it enough to simply be strong to be considered someone who is fit, or is strength by itself a sufficient indicator for fitness, and what does that mean? In this video, I want to talk about that. My name is James Hunter, and this is my 2 cents channel, where basically I just talk about different topics on wellness and fitness. And today, that's what I'm going to talk about, is a topic about what even constitutes fitness and strength, and what does all that mean as far as how relevant is that. So let's start with a definition. For me, when I think of fitness, while definitely being strong is a component of that, you definitely are somebody who is strong, particularly relative to your body weight. It's not just about being strong. Fitness is also about stamina, conditioning. You know, how durable are you? I think of longevity, your lifespan, quality of life, certain medical standards that are indicators of how healthy you are. So for me, I'm 47, but I'll be 48 years old in just a few months. I'm practically almost 48, about 2 years shy of being a 50-year-old man. So for me, my values and how I perceive fitness definitely has been a developmental process throughout my life. Particularly in my 30s, I came more to a realization and just a change in my values in terms of what my goals are as far as what I consider to be fitness. So when I think of fitness, you know, I see sometimes posts on Facebook, Instagram, social media, and definitely you'll see some people who are strong. They may, you know, even have a pretty good physique about them, and you know, they'll be kind of quoting things about health and so on, and is, you know, kind of implying that their lifestyle is about fitness. And I get all that, and I understand people are just trying to, you know, do things that are positive, or maybe just they're selling a brand, or they're just trying to, you know, get attention, whatever it is. But the more I see of this, there's a bit of a contradiction in the fitness industry, and just in people's lifestyle in general, that I think needs to be addressed. So what I think about is ironic in terms of what it is to be fitness, or to have fitness rather, is it's not sufficient to just be somebody who is strong. You can be strong in the gym, but if you struggle to tie your shoelaces because of your stomach is in the way, or you're out of breath climbing a flight of stairs and so on, you know, that's not healthy. That's not an indicator of fitness. You can be strong, however, if you have hypertension, high blood pressure, you're a walking candidate for a stroke, heart attack, and so on. You get the idea. Yeah, you're strong, you can push some weight, but I wouldn't be in such a hurry to put yourself as the poster boy or poster child for what it is to be fitness, or have fitness rather. So a little play on the English words there and how people talk sometimes. So what else comes to mind when I think about strength and condition and being strong and being fit and healthy? I don't like to take shots at people necessarily, more so than I just want to make observations. People do things that bring them happiness. People have passions to do things. And later in life, they'll say they have no regrets. And I'm going to give a quick few examples. I'll just hit on one real quick. Ronnie Coleman was an 8-time Mr. Olympia. He actually was a power lifter first, and then he got into bodybuilding. And of course, those who are, you know, familiar with bodybuilding, they know who Ronnie Coleman is, 8-time Mr. Olympia. Now, he trained very heavy, was very strong, definitely somebody that was impressive from that standard for what she trained for, to how big he could get, muscularity, and so on. The thing is, the man's in his early 50s now, and he's had bilateral hip replacements, multiple back surgeries, and because he struggles with just being ambulatory, he can't even walk anymore without assistance using braces. So he fell in his house recently, and unfortunately did some damage to his cervical spine. He's gonna have some surgery to correct that, which that's just because he fell down and not even from being in the weight room. So this is it's really sad, and you know, I don't make fun of anyone in that condition. I feel bad for the guy. I can imagine what that quality of life must be a struggle right now. So Ronnie Coleman, he says he has no regrets, and you know, of course, if he had it to do over again, he would have tried to squat 800 pounds for 3 reps instead of only 2, and so on. But I have, you know, I kind of wonder about that, how sincere that can always be if that's sincere 100% of the time. There's got to be times when he's in pain or just struggling with his day-to-day routines, or perhaps maybe he might have some thoughts like, maybe I could have trained differently, or I could have went about things differently. It's hard to believe that 100% he's not regretting some of the choices that were made when he was younger. So no doubt, very strong, incredible physique, not necessarily my most favorite aesthetics physique in terms of bodybuilding, but obviously, 8-time Mr. Olympia, you can't argue with that. So that's an example of somebody who was strong, but from my perspective, based on what my definition of what fitness is and the goal of that, somebody who did not have the indicators of fitness, in my opinion. An athlete, yes. Tremendous power lifter, tremendous bodybuilder, yes. Somebody who's healthy, in my opinion, no. So it all depends on what your values are and where you place worth in life. And so to you younger people who are out there, even if you're dabbling in powerlifting and bodybuilding, that's great. I'm going to compete this summer in a bodybuilding contest. In both open bodybuilding and classic physique, and I'll be doing that as a 48-year-old man. But make no mistake, I don't put my health in the back seat. My health is still a priority. I'm very mindful of how I eat. I don't do anything that's going to be dangerous to my body. No illicit drugs, nothing like that. I drink plenty of water. I don't do anything to dehydrate myself. Just the extreme stuff that you do see in bodybuilding. I achieve the look I feel comfortable with to compete, but I do it in a way that's safe and it's not going to do any harm to my health. So with that in mind, I'm able to maintain my quality of life, not do harm to myself by having a balance within how I approach doing things if I'm going to compete. I may do a powerlifting meet again. I'm probably sure I'll do a powerlifting meet maybe in the fall, towards the end of the year. But I'll definitely do one in the future. And again, health will be number one. Do the benefits outweigh the risk in terms of how I would plan my lifts and so on, and what my goals would be, where I'm coming at it from. So if you want to compete, if you want to do things, that's great. Just remember, your body has to last you the rest of your life. And your body is a tool, and it's not to be taken for granted. Your body is so important as it relates to physical, mental, spiritual health. It all ties in together. So if one part of those three is damaged or is jeopardized, it's going to affect the rest of your life, other areas of your life. And I don't care what a person may try to spin, they may put on that, but if your physical health is compromised, it does affect your mental health, your ability to cope with stress, and so on. So for me, yes, I want to be as strong as I can, but there's a threshold, and I used the phrase earlier, do the benefits outweigh the risk? Where is a threshold for you in terms of what your goals are? How far are you willing to push it as far as to get strong, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, but at the same time, not put yourself at risk for long-term damage or to severely damage your quality of life when you get older? So for what I'm getting at is that, strength is part of fitness. It's definitely a good indicator. For me, when I'm motivated, I can deadlift three times or better my body weight and squat the same thing. Bench press, still over 300 pounds when I'm motivated to train for that goal. So, I understand, wanting to be strong and to hold on to strength for as long as you can. Particularly as you get older, you can stay strong for a long time. But you got to check your ego, if you want to use that term, or your pride, or as far as you get older when you're in the gym. Do the benefits outweigh the risk? Again, if you're in a contest, you're a powerlifting meet, and you want to go for a PR, and you need to maybe try a 1 rep max you've never had before, and it can mean that you win that powerlifting meet that you trained a lot for, and it means a lot to you. I can see somebody taking a shot at that. But if you're in the gym and you're just in there, it's another training day, and perhaps you maybe haven't been putting the work in, but maybe you see somebody you haven't seen in a long time, or there's a girl that walks in the gym, whatever it is. In my opinion, the benefits don't outweigh the risk to get into, ego lifting or trying to posture in the gym of, I want to show them what I'm made out of. It's not worth it. I got nothing to prove. I'll train within the weight that feels comfortable to me. It's sufficient to provide the stimulation I need to get a good workout and to keep on keeping on, and that's just it. I used to joke with my buddies and friends when we were younger. I said, look, you know what? All I got to do, obviously I want to try to be my best I can, and as far as I challenge myself to always get better. But if I can just maintain the level of condition or the type of shape I'm in and stay around that for as long as possible, then the older I get, the more exceptional I become. And that's true. If you're in pretty damn good shape, someone who's around almost 50 or in your 50s and older, and you're pretty close to the strength you were in your 40s or 30s, and you still have the same type of, close to the same energy, and are not too far off, no one's going to, keep their physical prime forever. But if you're pretty damn close to that in your 50s and even close in your 60s and so on, that's exceptional. Not many people can say that, but it is possible. So for me, that is what has value, and that's what fitness is about. It's about the entire race. It's about the longevity, the quality of life you're going to live, and the example you'll be as you get older. And I'm not trying to pick on people or talk trash or anything like that. But the fact is, there are haters out there, and you'll have people that they know they screwed up or they fucked up, quite frankly, as far as they were reckless in how they approached their lifestyle. They may have abused themselves with, certain types of illicit drugs, ate like crap, or they just were reckless in their training. They never, used good form or stayed tight or just really thought out their workouts. They just, thought they were invincible. They had that kind of an attitude. So later in life, everybody eventually is going to pay the piper. So the saying, you reap what you sow, there's truth to that. So later in life, you'll see these individuals and they're beat up to hell. Their shoulders are shot, ain't worth a shit no more. They're not even anything close to what would be considered fit. If anything, they have disabilities. And those people that they used to be stronger than, and those people that they would make fun of in the gym because, look at that person doing their, maybe they're doing some Pilates or something in addition to weightlifting. Maybe they teased them for that. Well, those people are now by far in better shape than them, more fit, and are more exceptional than them. So what good is it if you're strong in your 30s, 40s, but then you're, pretty much a beat up old wreck of a person in your 50s? It's, to me, logically, it's a no-brainer. It just makes sense, to have a better plan for your life than that. So back to what I was talking about, you'll get some haters sometimes, particularly to people who have done it right and continue to do it right. Now, when I point out my situation, I'm not trying to brag on myself, but I'm just pointing out observational facts as an example. I've been lifting weights for 35 years. I've done both powerlifting meets and competitive bodybuilding. And I have managed to train. I train hard, as hard as the next guy out there who's put it out there to compete. And my shoulder joints, my hips, my knees, they're fine. There's nothing wrong with my shoulders. All my joint health is good. No damage. I can do everything. And I'm thankful for that. And I don't say that just to talk shit. I'm just saying that there's a right way, a smart way to go about how you approach training. And you can talk about recovery, listening to your body, and I had a coach, and he would say in high school, he'd say, "Don't be a dumb shit lifter." And he was right. I still see that guy once in a while in town. He's in his 60s, somewhere about there. So yeah, don't be a dumb shit lifter. How cool are you going to look when you're in your 50s and you can't even, pick your arm up or scratch your back? You can't even, take a shirt off and on without somebody helping you because you don't have the mobility at that shoulder joint anymore. I mean, that's not cool at all. So let's get to the point that I was getting to with people that are kind of haters on a lifestyle fitness. They do this for a reason. It's called cognitive dissonance. Human beings by nature, they don't like to feel anxious. People don't like anxiety. People don't like to feel like, hey, I may have fucked up or I made a mistake. It's that pride. So they'll rationalize the behavior by shifting their attitude or their thoughts about the behavior. So, I don't have any regrets. I'm glad that I, trained the way I did, or I did all the things that I did because, it was worth it. And they convince themselves that it was worth it because it helps them to feel better about their current situation. It reduces that anxiety. But objectively speaking, I don't care what anybody says, there ain't nobody who has a bunch of disabilities, who can barely wipe their own ass, who can't even walk. You can't tell me that that person doesn't have some regrets. That's bullshit. They have some fucking regrets. So I'm just saying that and putting that out there, not to, try to be, hurt anybody's feelings. I'm just, calling it for what it is. So with the longevity and lifestyle, the things that come to mind is, yes, you want to be strong. Being strong is a protective factor for your joints when you lift weights. People think that lifting weights is going to tear your joints up. Well, only if you don't know what you're doing and use bad form. It's actually quite the opposite. Lifting weights and being strong becomes a protective factor for your shoulder joints and knees and hips and so on. So what should be, or what should constitute fitness? Fitness should be, yes, strength training. Yes, you want to be strong. But cardiovascular health, doing different types of exercises that get the heart rate up, like a high intensity interval training, different other types of interval training. Yes, steady state cardio is, that's good too, but mix it up, do things that are a bit more intense, jump rope, squat jumps, and so on. You want that EPOC, or excess post-oxygen consumption, a fancy way of saying you want to breathe hard between sets, get that heart rate up, disturb the metabolism. So that type of exercise is what your heart needs. It's not enough just to lift weights. Yes, you can get your heart rate up and you may breathe some when doing squats. It's not the same thing as jump roping, jogging, swimming, and so on. So those are things to think about. Don't fall into that, club of individuals that like to make fun of cardio. I think you see this on social media. People will be like, oh, I hate cardio, or cardio for me is getting up to answer the door or check the mail or whatever. You get it. So in my opinion, what you have here are lazy people who just want to make find an excuse to feel better about not doing some cardio, to take care of themselves, take care of their heart. And it's a myth. It's a myth that powerlifters, they shouldn't do cardio. That is bullshit. In powerlifting meets, I've seen very fit individuals who incorporated different types of cardiovascular training. They were very strong. They look good. Their waist was smaller than their hips, or not the other way around, having a stomach bigger than the hips. And that's a whole other video, hip and waist ratio, as far as that being an indicator for being at risk for health problems, disease, and so on. So these are my thoughts. I'm just kind of shooting on a few things that kind of jotted down here about, what do even people think fitness is? I wonder what goes through people's minds. I think maturity and age has a lot to do with it. Our reasons for exercising and working out, they vary throughout life depending on where we're at, where our values are at. I think in your early 20s, mid-20s, heck, all of your 20s, you're still feeling pretty much invincible. You're still, and if you want to call it the prime of your life from a physical standpoint, not necessarily spiritual or mental. But and then you started getting a bit older. For me in my 30s, I started recognizing, life is it's a race. If you want to look at it as a race, but it's you want to, it's not just a sprint. You want to be able to finish strong and make the entire duration, instead of just a quick sprint, burn yourself out, and guess what? There's still a potential 30, 40 years left on the clock that you may have had or might still have, but it's going to be a rough going for you now that you're totally screwed up. So those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Is it enough to be just strong, have a good bicep, whatever? Does that make you healthy? Is that an indicator of someone's degree or level of fitness? Health, longevity, an overall balanced, conditioned person as far as the physical performance of the body, the ability to manage stress. how you cope with stress is huge for health and longevity. Are you able to get good sleep? What is your, again, your risk factors as far as, are you considered overweight, obese, hip and waist? That's an important area to look at, which is actually probably a better indicator sometimes than just weight for certain individuals. But so yeah, leave your thoughts and comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think I'm maybe just being a bit hard on people? I don't think I'm being hard on people. I'm just telling it how it is as far as my opinion, based on my definition of what constitutes fitness. Fitness is so much more than how much you can bench, squat, deadlift, how much you can power clean, snatch, whatever. Doesn't matter if you can't tie your shoes because your stomach's in the way. Doesn't matter if you can't make a video and you're some big guy on there who just did a set of dumbbell rows, whatever it is, and you're out of breath, for 5 minutes before while you're trying to talk. How quickly can you recover from something? And yeah. So, and I get out of breath too when I train heavy, so I'm not picking on people for that. I'm just saying some people get out of breath a lot easier than others, and it's typically very common with heavier, unhealthy individuals who are also physically strong. So those are my thoughts. What is your definition of fitness? For you, is it just enough to be strong and that's good enough? You don't care how long you live, or you're not worried about your quality of life as you get older. Until I make another video, I hope this gets people to think. I'm not trying to be a hater or pick fights with people in any particular part of the fitness industry. I don't make videos on YouTube full-time, or I'll probably be making some more because I have an interest in it now that my schedule is allowing for it. But I have 2 full-time jobs. I'm a licensed professional counselor, mental health. I also help people with substance use, rehabilitation, and recovery. And I'm also a personal trainer as well. Both those industries I've been in for 20 plus years. And right now I'm doing more things online than hands-on direct as far as the personal training ending of it, which I did for a long time. The counseling and therapy and things I do with individuals, I still do that, one-on-one with individuals. I do groups as well. So those are my primary jobs. So when I make a video here on YouTube, I'm just doing it to share my honest thoughts. I don't have an agenda like I'm trying to build up my channel because it's going to be my primary means of just being and how I'm going to do my thing. Because a lot of people do that, and for certain reasons, they can be perceived as, maybe having an agenda or a conflict of interest and how they express their points of view. Not me. When you hear my point of view, it's going to be what I think. So until I talk to you again, hope you have a good day. I'm in South Texas. It rained, a little bit of rain, fog outside, but it's like 66 degrees, and I wore tank top today. Boom. So how about that for the rest of the country that's freezing their asses off? Take care until I talk to you again.